Okay, so I guess it stopped. So here's part two. So continued. He didn't do the Hogan thing. Like he didn't keel over and grab a body part and go, oh, like it hurts. Like he just acted like, oh shit, bam, hit the mat. Like, oh my god, I'm hurt. Nothing was over the top. That's the thing. Nothing was over the top about this match. Moves were perfectly executed. The selling was spot on. It was just amazing to watch. Like two of the best moves no, three of the best moves that were performed, and two of them were Kenny Omega. Once again, Okada's great. He's the new face of New Japan Wrestling. He's the new champion that took over from Naito or whatever his name is. That's been doing it. According to Meltzer, he's basically been the face for like 7 years now. He's passed the torch to Okada. Okada did great, but Omega was the star of this match. And two of the other moves he did that were like absolute perfection. A lot of wrestlers today, especially in WWE, have a bad habit of doing the suicide dive. They bounce off a rope, they run, and they dive through the other side between the second and third rope with their arms out, and they hit somebody or two or three people, and it's like, oh, it's cool, but when you see it 2-3 times an episode, 2-3 episodes a week between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, it's overdone at this point. Omega actually ran, jumped over the top rope, which you rarely ever see anymore, and did a somersault. He did a full flip, and he didn't just land on Okada awkwardly. His butt perfectly landed on Okada's shoulder, and he kind of slid across it, and his feet hit the ground. It was so fast and so perfect. Even on the replay, it was hard to tell. Basically, the majority of his momentum hit the floor. He just grazed Okada's shoulder, but he did it so perfectly that it looked like he hit the shit out of Okada, and it was devastating. Like, that was the beauty of his perfection, of his execution. And another one, this is what blew me away. I forget what happened, but somehow Okada got over the guardrail and was between the guardrail and the announce tables. Kenny Omega runs, bounces off the rope, runs back to the side that Okada's on the other side of the guardrail. You think he's fixing to do one of these suicide dive, whatever, over the top rope moves. No, he basically stops, jumps and spins around so that his back is facing Okada, then jumps up on, like, I think the second rope maybe, and bounces up and does a back flip and goes over the guardrail and lands perfectly between the guardrail and the announce tables. And these aren't WWE tables where they can just pull shit out the way. These are like big, hard wood tables with some shit sitting on top of them. They didn't take anything off the tables. They pulled them back like maybe a foot to make a little bit of space. Jumps, back flips, does it perfect. And this is all one flawless, fluid movement. There's no stutter. There's no, okay, let me make sure I'm doing this right. It was just bam, bam, bam. And he fucking hits Okada. Something Mick Foley hinted at that was also beautiful was the story of the table. They kept hinting at it. They kept trying to use it. They could never do it. The closest they come was when, once again, I forget how, but somehow Okada ended up on the mat on ringside. I think the Young Bucks put the table on top of him because, they were there, part of the Bullet Club, Elite, being there for Omega and shit. And he runs, jumps, and basically does a foot stomp on top of the table. Then it don't get used again for like the longest time. And then eventually Okada ends up like flipping him over the ropes, putting him through the table, which I thought was a little bit lackluster. Like all that build, and that's the only thing that happened. But still, they teased and hinted and built to that one table spot, and it was still pretty awesome. And the only other thing, which I think was what Meltzer talked about in his review that I agree with, is that they built and tried towards him hitting the one wing angel, which is his finisher, and he never hit it. 45-minute match, never hit it. So that leaves room open for the rematch. Well, yeah, the only reason Okada won is because fucking Omega never got the one wing angel. Every time he got Okada up, he got out of it and he reversed it or whatever. So it's like that was beautiful and brilliant in itself. And the only other thing I want to say is that I have a negative and a positive with the Rainmaker. On the one hand, I hate that Omega never hit the one wing angel even once. But Okada hit the Rainmaker on him altogether probably like 7-8 times. And finally did 2 tombstones. One of them being a spinning like sit-out tombstone. All kinds of different power bombs and slams, like 6-7 Rainmakers, which are basically just a clothesline, and finally pinned him. But Omega never even got to hit one and have Okada kick out, not even one wing angel. And the final note is that I will say I do like the Rainmaker because it's basically a clothesline from hell. JBL should be proud because most clotheslines, you got to bounce off a rope and then hit. It's a running deal. His is a close-up deal, like he could do with the clothesline from hell. So I do like that, but like I say, overall, amazing, deserves 6 stars, no doubt. I'll probably watch